An empty, rusting oil tanker has triggered a dangerous new standoff at sea. A U.S. Coast Guard cutter is chasing it across the Atlantic. Now, Russia has sent a submarine and naval escorts to protect it. No oil, no cargo, just power, pressure, and a floating provocation. This is not about a ship. This is about who controls the oceans. U.S. officials say Russia has dispatched a submarine and other naval assets to escort an oil tanker now at the center of rising U.S.-Russia tensions. The vessel, once called the Bella 1, has spent more than 2 weeks evading a U.S. crackdown on sanctioned oil tankers near Venezuela. The tanker failed to dock in Venezuela and never loaded oil, but U.S. authorities say it remains part of a global dark fleet used to ferry illicit crude across the world. Despite being empty, the U.S. Coast Guard has pursued the vessel into the Atlantic as part of efforts to choke off black market oil sales, including oil linked to Russia and Iran. In December, the tanker's crew repelled a U.S. attempt to board the ship before steaming into open waters. As the pursuit continued, the crew crudely painted a Russian flag onto the side of the vessel, renamed it the Marinera, and abruptly switched its registration to Russia. Experts say Moscow made the highly unusual decision to register the tanker without inspection or formal checks, a move designed to shield it under international maritime law. Russia has privately urged Washington to stop the pursuit, according to multiple U.S. officials. On Tuesday, the Russian Foreign Ministry said it was watching the situation with concern as the tanker sailed roughly 300 miles south of Iceland toward the North Sea. The U.S. military's Southern Command responded publicly, saying it stands ready to confront sanctioned vessels transiting the region. U.S. officials now say Washington wants to take the ship alive, not send it to the bottom of the sea. According to CBS News, 2 U.S. officials confirmed American forces would prefer to seize the tanker rather than sink it. The vessel, now known as the Marinera, is believed to be operating between Scotland and Iceland, a remote stretch of ocean where distance and harsh weather are making any boarding operation extremely difficult. As per Automatic Identification System, AIS, the tanker was in the North Atlantic approximately 2,000 kilometers or 1,200 miles west of continental Europe on Tuesday. U.S. planners are weighing their options carefully. Any military action launched from British territory would require Washington to formally inform London, given the sensitivity of operations in UK-adjacent waters. For now, Britain is keeping its distance. The UK Ministry of Defense says it will not comment on the military activities of other nations, but U.S. officials say a precedent already exists. They point to an operation last month when U.S. Marines and Special Operations Forces, working alongside the Coast Guard, seized a massive crude oil tanker called the Skipper. That vessel, flagged out of Guyana, was intercepted shortly after leaving port in Venezuela. Russian state media has released video filmed from the tanker's deck, showing the U.S. Coast Guard cutter following closely behind. The outlet claimed the ship is a civilian vessel bound for Murmansk and accused Washington of an unlawful interception attempt. At the time the pursuit began, the Bella 1 was stateless and flying a false flag, according to the White House. The vessel had been sanctioned for allegedly carrying Iranian oil linked to U.S.-designated terrorist organizations. But its new Russian registration now complicates any U.S. boarding attempt. Maritime law experts warn that once a vessel carries a recognized flag, it gains legal protection. Forcibly boarding it could invite retaliation from Russia and its allies, including Iran. The standoff comes as Washington and Moscow remain locked in tense talks over Ukraine. Russia has yet to accept a US-backed peace framework, raising fears this maritime clash could spill into diplomacy. President Trump has publicly criticized Vladimir Putin, saying he is killing too many people. US officials say more tanker seizures may follow. Washington has already apprehended 2 massive crude carriers linked to illicit crude transport networks. According to analysts, Russia's invasion of Ukraine and sweeping Western sanctions have fueled the rapid growth of a global shadow fleet of more than 1,000 aging tankers. Many operate without insurance, obscure ownership, and use deceptive tactics to hide movements at sea.
Times of India videos, your daily dose of India and the world. Global news, different views, and sharp analysis.
Pressure of expectation from your fans, your supporters.
That has often served as a backdrop for several Bollywood.
You're not a brute majority anymore. If you individually take out Tera,
Making sense of global conflicts. Tracking the new emerging world order.
strike on Israeli military bases.
A multi-pronged
to stay out of harm's way as Israel started bombing targets across.
Understanding changing alliances in a polarized world. Tune into TOI videos for all this and more. Click on the bell icon to subscribe and never miss an update.